The Michigan Wolverines get the news that every fan has been wanting to hear. Let's talk about it. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
We're the Big Ten guys. Tune in here for all the daily information, news, gossip, whatever you want, all things Big Ten. This is the place to do it. Aaron, tell them what to do.
Don't miss out. All you got to do, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and it takes you 2 seconds. Hit the like button because we know you like it. Today, we're talking Michigan Wolverines football. And before we even get started, if you've never watched this channel, Michigan fan right here, Michigan State fan right here. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be non-biased. I might say I might get a try to get a few jabs in there, but listen, it's all in fun, okay? Paul, tell them what they want to hear.
All right, so Michigan fans, we had a couple glorious years in there with J.J. McCarthy, but outside of that, we have seen some ugly years at the quarterback position.
Rough years.
Some ugly play calling. And I think we're all hoping that changes this year with our guy, Bryce Underwood. If you have watched even like a second of college football, I'm sure you've heard the name. Dude's a stud. And being interviewed recently, he came out and said that Michigan's offense is going to be just a lot more explosive this year. The ball's going to be getting pushed downfield, and there's just going to be a big change from what everyone's been seeing.
And what I know Michigan football as is simple. Literally 2 years ago, national championship year, we are going to cram it down Michigan State's throat. And being the recipient, it is not fun. But also seeing Bryce Underwood play football at Belleville in Michigan, in the state of Michigan, over on the east side, the guy is legit. There's a reason he was sought after by Brian Kelly, LSU, all the big-time programs. And when he went to LSU, I'm going to be honest with you, Paul, I was excited because that meant Michigan State was not going to have to deal with him, at least in the Big Ten. And then Michigan came calling.
Open the checkbook.
And baby money talks. Show me the money. Jerry Maguire. So it makes me nervous.
Yeah, so here, one of my big fears when I saw he was coming is something I've seen a lot of years as a Michigan fan is Michigan coaches trying to put a round peg into a square hole. Everybody remembers when Lloyd Carr left, we're like, all right, we're going to run a spread offense. We're bringing in Rich Rod. And I
love
Rich
that.
Rod,
I love that, by the way.
The problem, though, is they had a team full of pro-style players trying to run a spread offense. And then when Rich Rod is there, he spends 3 years bringing in spread players, and then they fire him and bring in a pro-style coach.
Brady Hoke, baby.
And now they have a pro-style coach with Denard Robinson at QB. And again, it is a round peg in a square hole, square peg in a round hole, whatever you want to call it. It didn't fit.
But Brady Hoke did win the Sugar Bowl. I'll give him that.
Off of Rich Rod's bench.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry, got a little sidetracked. But the point is, Michigan has not had a talent like Bryce Underwood. I mean, J.J. McCarthy was close, but even he is not that level of Bryce Underwood. I love the ground and pound. We'll talk about Michigan's running backs in a minute. You don't want to lose your identity, but when you have a star QB like Bryce Underwood, you want to see them pushing the ball downfield. Use the talents that you have on your team, and it's great to see that they're planning to do that.
I think what's even crazier with Chip Lindsay coming in from North Carolina, do you know what quarterback he coached 2 years ago?
Drake May, baby.
Drake May, New England Patriots, third overall pick. That probably, Bryce Underwood has to be licking his chops knowing that he has a big-time offensive coordinator that, let me say this, coached a big-time draftee going to the Patriots third overall in a draft class that was quarterback heavy. Quarterback heavy.
A lot of years Drake May would have been number one.
Easily, hands down. But what I think is crazy about this is, listen, last year, a stagnant throwing game. It was tough to watch.
I feel like that's a compliment.
And yeah, right. That might be a compliment.
That's giving him a lot of credit.
And I even said, I was surprised Donovan Edwards came back. I think he should have left. And I think after this past year watching that team, Mullins, I liked him significantly more than I like Donovan. I don't even like Michigan, but I thought he was the better
Khalil
back.
Mullins was really good.
Mullins, yeah. And so looking at Donovan Edwards, he should have left. But that's all beside the point. What what Bryce Underwood and Chip Lindsay are making it sound like is like this team is going to be like in Oregon. Hey, we're going to get to the line. We're going to have explosive plays. We're going to come at you fast, and you are going to be flustered, confused, and it's going to suck. So as a State fan, I'm not looking forward to it.
And I think they have the guys to do it too, both now and we'll get into it. They're going to have some dogs in the future. But if you want to pull up my guy Donovan McCulley, the transfer we got from Indiana, last year he
was injured.
Yeah, I think he played like a game and a half. These are his 2023 stats. I don't even remember who Indiana's QB was.
It was like Shobi. It was something. It was a nobody. Jackson. It was a bunch of absolute garbage. What Michigan was familiar with last year at quarterback, and yes, that's
was it Jack
right.
Tuttle?
It was Jack Tuttle. Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't Jack Tuttle. But so you look at this with an awful quarterback putting up pretty solid stats at Indiana, a year where they were awful. They were horrendous. Literally only one Big Ten win, and that was against Wisconsin. And so he put up some decent numbers this year, and then bring it to this year, this upcoming year, with a true quarterback. In an offense that is going to really be a benefit to him, to McCulley, and obviously Bryce Underwood. I would say big numbers out of him.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's 6'5", should be a beast in the red zone. Mm-hmm. And then I think he'll pair well with, we're bringing back Samaj Morgan and Fred Moore. We probably don't even need to pull up their stats. They're ugly. But I think if you're a Michigan fan, you've seen these guys have the talent. They didn't have anybody to get them the ball last year, unfortunately.
And I would tell you about this, Morgan, the year that Michigan won the national championship and he was a freshman, he was one guy I was worried the most about just because he had so much just talent, explosiveness. When the ball got in his hands, when they got the ball in his hands, there was a lot of weapons on that team. He made the most of it a lot of times. And so last year, it just shows how rough that offense was. Yeah. That he literally, his numbers, I think were actually worse that second year than it was his freshman year. But anyways, yeah, you got other talent as well. Like, was it Fred Moore?
Then you got true freshman Andrew Marsh coming in. I'm really excited about him. He was a top 100 overall recruit. I think the number 13 wide receiver in that class. And then just to give you an example of what freshman receivers are doing in this day and age, I looked up the year before. The number 13 receiver was Bryant Wesco from Clemson, who had like 700 yards and 5 touchdowns his freshman year. So like guys like him can make a big impact.
And think about that too, Underwood-Marsh connection for years to come. I don't know why I said that because that actually sounds like it sucks. But that's about right. Now, Paul, let's jump into, though, specifically. We know the offense that has a lot of potential. It's going to look different. But also in the future, give us some recruits that we can talk about as well.
Yeah, Michigan's gotten some huge recruiting news lately. They brought in Zion Robinson and Travis Johnson, both high-end 4-star receivers. They did recently miss out on that 5-star who went to Syracuse. You know, whatever.
Syracuse literally was like, this is the only guy we care about. If you've ever played NCAA football, I've done it before where it's just like, I'm only going to focus on this person, and it can pay off.
Yeah, they got him. But you know what? He's still got a whole year. Michigan can open the bag. It's not over. It is not over until you see him put on that Syracuse jersey. We got money they don't have.
Well, even then, nowadays, there's people who go play in a spring game and then still go transfer somewhere else, so you don't even know.
But regardless, whether they have them or not, they have some serious talent coming in at receiver. Bryce Underwood's whole career here, he should have just whoever he wants to get the ball to. And obviously, you know, Michigan's got a great line. They're bringing in Justice Haynes from Bama. Yep. Jordan Marshall, I think, is going to be really good. They'll be able to run the ball. And I just think the future is bright for this offense.
Yeah. And I think one thing I want to say, too, is I think a lot of people hear this and they might think, well, I like the ground and pound. How we did it with JJ when they won the national championship with Blake Corum, that offensive line, Donovan Edwards, big game Don. It was great. And Chip Lindsay said, listen, we are still going to be able to do that. This pass game is going to be able to open up this run game even more. But it just means that, hey, we're going to be a little more explosive in the pass play. Like, we're going to be relying on that a little more as opposed to our run game. So again, when you have the talent like you do in Bryce Underwood, and you have to assume, Paul, and I don't know as much about Michigan as you, but you got to assume when he also got that, $10 million check, however much money he got, Michigan also said, listen, how do you want to, how would you prefer to see this offense? Because he's not going to go somewhere he's not going to be able to put up big numbers. Let's remember, Jaden Daniels just won the Heisman. And where was that at? LSU under Brian Kelly. So they probably promised some big things for Bryce Underwood at the University of Michigan, which again, as I'm saying it, sucks as a Michigan State fan. But anyways, any other thoughts, Paul?
I think that's it. I mean, the future's bright. I'm excited for the Wolverines. The recruiting class looks great. Bryce Underwood should be amazing.
And Michigan State, we're just trying to get 2 and 3 stars, and we're just trying to survive. So it's looking good. Thank you guys for watching again. On your way out, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and just give us a thumbs up. Give us that like button. We'll talk later. Peace.